Dear friends, welcome to your personalized podcast. In today's episode, we'll explore how to give feedback to senior leaders effectively, ensuring your insights are heard while maintaining respect for authority. Discover techniques like the even more method, using personal anecdotes and providing concrete examples to foster a productive work environment. Imagine you're in a situation where you notice patterns in your workplace that aren't quite leading to the best outcomes. Perhaps these patterns are set by senior leaders who, despite their experience and authority, might not see the full picture. How do you tell someone in a more powerful position that their approach could use a little tweaking? The challenge is to do this without stepping on toes or risking your position. The first thing to understand is that giving feedback to someone more senior is not a typical scenario. Traditionally, feedback flows from the top down, so when you reverse this, it can create a bit of tension. It's crucial to manage this interaction carefully, steering it towards a positive outcome. Feeling nervous about this is normal and even beneficial. It shows your instincts for self-preservation are sharp. Before deciding to give feedback, consider a few checkpoints. Ask yourself if there's anything within your control that can improve the situation. Also, assess how much the issue bothers you and whether it's significant enough to merit feedback. Reflect on your approach. Are you managing up effectively, asking the right questions, and fully understanding the situation? If you decide that giving feedback is necessary, proceed thoughtfully. Tailor your approach based on your relationship with the leader, their personality, and how much trust they've placed in you. It's important not to assume you're right just because you see things differently. One effective method is the even more technique. This strategy involves framing your feedback in a way that suggests enhancement rather than correction. For instance, instead of saying, "We need to give guidance to new hires," you might say, "We may need to give even more guidance to new hires." This subtle shift makes it easier for leaders to accept the feedback because it acknowledges their efforts and suggests building on them. Another approach is using yourself as a reference. Instead of saying, "You should try X," frame it as a personal anecdote. Share how you faced a similar challenge and what worked for you. This method is less likely to trigger defensiveness because it doesn't directly point fingers. Language matters too. Avoid being blunt or overly submissive. Instead, use diplomatic, curiosity-driven phrases like, "We might want to try," or "I wonder if." This language presents you as a team player interested in finding solutions together, rather than criticizing past actions. Data and examples can also bolster your feedback. Instead of making vague suggestions, provide concrete examples of what has worked before. For instance, rather than just saying, "We need more feedback during projects," you could recall a successful project where regular feedback led to a great outcome. This approach not only strengthens your argument, but also demonstrates that your suggestions are grounded in proven results. Ultimately, the goal is to share your perspective in a way that encourages openness and reflection rather than defensiveness. By being strategic and thoughtful in your approach, you can help your senior leaders see opportunities for improvement without undermining their authority or your relationship. In essence, giving feedback to senior leaders is about balance. It's about respecting their position, while also recognizing the value of your insights. With the right approach, you not only foster a more productive work environment, but also demonstrate your leadership potential. That wraps up today's podcast, where we explored how to effectively give feedback to senior leaders by assessing the issue's significance and using diplomatic language to foster communication. Remember, balancing respect with sharing your insights can highlight your leadership potential. Stay tuned for more updates. Dear friends,